As the Bills finish up the last day of training camp, of course, there's going to be more injury news. We'll talk about that and more next. Welcome to Believers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to a training camp edition of Believers Talk. As we talk about the last day of training camp, guys, yesterday was the last day for Buffalo Bills training camp. Of course, Thursday, tomorrow, going to be that first preseason game against the Indianapolis Colts. Before we get into that, guys, I want to remind everyone to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. Like this video and leave a comment. Also follow me on Twitter. Link in the description below. I do ask you guys excuse the voice. Obviously, we talked about this during the live stream. Not feeling the best. But I did want to come on here and still give you guys the best Buffalo Bills coverage I could. So again, hit that subscribe button, like this video, hit that thumbs up button, and leave a comment. Excuse me. So I want to talk about the last day of training camp yesterday for the Buffalo Bills, and we have to start with more injury news, unfortunately. E.J. Gaines, the guy who was fighting for that CB2 spot, is listed as out. After talking to Sean McDermott yesterday, he announced that E.J. Gaines will be out for weeks. Not days, not questionable. He will be out for weeks. So that really opens up that second CB roster spot for Levi Wallace or Kevin Johnson to kind of step up and take that. That might question whether E.J. Gaines makes the 53-man roster. You know, we're talking about Le'Adrian Waddle's injury, and his chances of making the 53-man roster. While E.J. Gaines was kind of on that bubble too, and him getting hurt might affect his chances to make that 53-man roster. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Do you think E.J. Gaines makes the 53-man roster? Then we signed a new player. We knew about the Le'Adrian Waddle injury. We put him on the IR, and then we signed Jerron Jones. Jerron Jones is actually a Rochester native, so if he was at home when we signed him, he didn't have to go that far. In fact, his mom was at training camp to cheer on her son. But we signed Jerron Jones. I will be doing an episode on him just like I do all the Buffalo Bills free agents. But again, guys, haven't been feeling the best, so excuse me on that. But we will be giving you an episode on Jerron Jones, where he comes from, what he brings to the Buffalo Bills, and his chances of making that 53-man roster. But we did sign him to replace Le'Adrian Waddle. Another news of note during training camp, and guys, again, I'm going to get through this as fast as possible. Unfortunately, still not feeling the best, like I said. So please leave a comment. Again, I might miss some things. I do apologize, but I just wanted to keep you guys up to date in case you can't keep up to date on training camp. But, the offense is still an issue. LaShawn McCoy met with the media, says he's still the man. But these injuries are just taking a toll on the Buffalo Bills. I mean, look at that offensive line and how banged up it is. You talk about Morris being out, you talk about Waddle being out, you talk about John Feliciano being limited in practice, although we did see him come back to practice the other day, so that was good to see. Spencer Long being limited in practice, but he's again back in pads, so that's good to see. Just the list of offensive linemen injured is a big list, and so when you're mix and matching offensive linemen, it's hard to get into a rhythm. And some might say that's actually a good thing, though. If we're mixing and matching offensive linemen now, then it won't be as big of a deal if it happens during the regular season. But the problem is if they can't work well together, and we'll find out this Thursday. We'll find out throughout the weeks, of course, throughout the preseason, if they can work better together as a unit. But obviously that would create a problem for us on offense. That creates a problem for Josh Allen and this running game, just like last season. But we can say that Mitch Morse will not be playing in tomorrow's game against the Indianapolis Colts. No surprise there. E.J. Gaines, obviously, guy we just talked about, he won't be playing. Tyler Kroft, no surprise, he won't be playing as well. So that's a little bit of the injury report for the game tomorrow against the Indianapolis Colts. I'm not sure about Jason Kroom or Tyler Kroft. I'm sorry, not Tyler Kroft, or Jason Kroom or Dawson Knox. Either one of them might be able to play tomorrow. They're looking at better. They're working on agility drills, and they're on the sideline. They're there at practice. So still have not seen them in pads. So you probably want to give them a pad or two practice in pads before you get them on the field. But you might see them tomorrow. Sean McDermott did talk about how much the Stars are going to play in the first week of preseason. He said you might see them for a whole first quarter. To me, that's a surprise, just because most of the time, first preseason game, you see them for like a drive, maybe two. But then you take them out as soon as possible. But obviously, Sean McDermott wants to see what this offense can do. It's a pretty new team. Again, we signed how many free agents we signed? I think we said with the newest one, it's 28 free agents. So you want to see what you have. You want to see how the offensive line does against actual competition and not your own defensive line. Because guys, let's face it, our own defensive line, we're thinking our own defensive line is going to be a top 5, maybe top 3 defensive line in the NFL. If that's the case, then obviously we need to see how the offensive line does against other competition. If they're getting beat by the #1 defense in the NFL, maybe they're going to do a little bit better against other defensive lines. Not saying that's the case. Maybe we can hope that's the case. But we'll see what happens there. Some other news and notes from yesterday's training camp day. Another good day for Corey Bajorges as far as the punting competition goes. Again, we talked about the depth chart. Bajorges was ahead of Corey Carter, and it looks like it's going to remain that way. Obviously, it's still going to be something to watch throughout preseason to see who does better in actual game time situations. But Corey Bajorges right now is looking like the front runner for that punter job. Another news, Cole Beasley had a good day again. So you look at Cole Beasley and you're just really excited to see what he can do. John Brown had another solid day. I was looking at someone gave out the awards for training camp. I think it was Buffalo Rumblings gave out the awards for training camp. John Brown was their training camp MVP, and he just really impressed from the beginning, from the onset, and really kept that going throughout all of training camp. So let me know who you think was the training camp MVP. Again, let me know in the comment section. Do you think it was John Brown, or do you think it was somebody else? Matt Milano looked good. Matt Milano again close to 100%. As Leslie Frazier put it, we'll see what we get out of him, if we can see any action from him in that first preseason game. But in the last training camp day, as expected, they were not going as hard as the other days as we get ready for the preseason game against the Indianapolis Colts. So it's hard to gauge how well they really did. But that's pretty much the news and notes from training camp. So again, let me know if I missed anything in the comment section below. Let me know if you have any questions. Happy to respond to all my commenters, as you know. So just let me know what you guys are thinking. Let me know if you think John Brown was the MVP of training camp, and also let me know if you think EJ Gaines will make the 53-man roster. Guys, as you know, the Andre Reed mini helmet giveaway has ended. So as soon as I do a wrap-up of all of training camp, we will have the winner announced to you. Again, unfortunately, not feeling the best, so I've gone a little behind on that kind of stuff. I will be coming out with the video on the newest free agent signing, Jones. So look forward to that. And also we'll be wrapping up all of training camp and announcing the winner of that mini helmet. Again, thank you for entering the contest. Thank you all for all that you do for this channel. Again, excuse me. If you haven't already subscribed to Billievers Talk, guys, we're going to keep you covered throughout 2019 for the Buffalo Bills. So you want to hit that subscribe button, like this video, leave a comment. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.